April, good to see you. Today we have retirement planning and tips for women. It is Women's History Month. And I was surprised to learn a recent study found women are far less financially prepared for retirement compared to men. In fact, men have more than double the retirement savings of women. And of course, there are several reasons why: the earnings gap, women are more likely to be caregivers, and they're more likely to have professional interruptions. But April, even if they're not working, they can contribute to an IRA, right? How does that work?
Absolutely. A spousal IRA is a tool that is often overlooked. You don't have to have income yourself as long as your spouse has income and can qualify for you. So, that is one mechanism where people can make those annual contributions, and they might be missing out on that, thinking that they are ineligible since they don't have earned income themselves.
hmm Yeah. So, on that vein, 43% of men use a financial advisor, only 34% of women do. But working with an advisor can help women for so many reasons. Probably, just to discover certain things that they're eligible for that maybe they wouldn't know that they were. So, explain why working with an advisor could be helpful.
It's a very important tool to have somebody, whether it's a financial advisor or some other accountability partner, to help you make sure that you define and stick to your goals. Financial advisors can be a great tool for that because they're a kind of a outside perspective. So a little bit, especially if you're dealing with a couple, or perhaps you are dealing with an individual who maybe their children want to be involved in the process as well. It's just a good way to liaison and to have accountability as
Mhm.
well. We don't know what we don't know. And just like we were just talking about with the spousal IRAs, there are a lot of regulations and rule changes and things to stay on top of with these secure acts that keep coming out, and all of these income tax changes that are on the horizon at the end of 2025 as well. That for an individual who doesn't do this full time, it's very difficult to stay on top of those things. So there's a lot of
Mhm.
opportunity cost in not having that type of relationship.
Yeah, really good point. And so, last 33% of women do not have a retirement strategy versus 18% of men. And women, of course, live longer. We need a retirement plan that accounts for longevity.
Absolutely. And part of this is a trend that we're actually starting to see the beginning of a very big dynamic shift.
hmm
Historically speaking, men have controlled more wealth, men have been the decision makers financially, and we are really starting to see a shift in this. Women are controlling more wealth today than they ever have in years past, and we expect that trend to continue, partially for the reasons that you just mentioned. Women do live longer, but it's a really interesting trend shift that we're seeing, and we're really focusing on those areas of education to help provide women with the tools to become the financial decision maker. And we strongly encourage women who are not already involved in the financial decision making process not to completely delegate that responsibility. We're so good
Right.
at delegating sometimes, but this is one that we recommend making sure that you're on the same page. If your husband has a financial advisor and you're not a part of that process, become part of that process. Make sure that
Mhm.
person's a good fit for you as well. Because, like you said, women do live longer than men. So it's likely to be a relationship that is even more important for the wife.
hmm And I don't need to state the
Mhm.
obvious here that you are a woman working in a male dominated field. You are very passionate about this. And you just posted a great blog on your website, theretirementfamily.com. What's in this blog that we should check out?
A lot of areas where you can start. If you don't have a retirement plan already, this blog is designed to help you get a starting point that's reasonable, that's attainable, and gives you some key areas and strategies that are often overlooked. Social security strategies, whether it's for survivors or against an out spouse's social security, maximizing the retirement savings. So we go over that dynamic of the spousal IRA, long-term care insurance. That's a
Mm,
big one for
right.
people who are going to have longevity, and that's women, typically speaking. So a lot of good tools in there, ways to really harness your strengths, and good starting points that are easy to kind of just bite out a little bit at a time.
Yes. No, this was incredibly helpful, April,
Yeah.
and for being such a great advocate. If somebody has questions about anything that we've talked about today, how can they get a hold of you?
You can contact either of our offices at any time, or feel free to join us on the retirementfamily.com and submit a contact us form, and we're happy to help get you started.
Perfect. April, thank you.
Thank you, Erin.